You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Are you recording?
We are recording.
Okay.
Okay.
On your mark. Get set. Go. And I made him watch.
Intermissions.
Hello
And welcome.
to And I Made Him Watch, Intermissions, Episode 1, Who, What, and Why. Today, we're pulling back the veil on our podcast and divulging information about ourselves, the show, and our plans for the future.
And who are we?
I am Troy Allen,
And I am Dani Page.
and we are opening ourselves up to our listeners. So, who are we?
Yeah. I think it's important for just to have, a little information that we're not just like two disembodied voices people listen to. They know a little bit more about what we're about, and our essence, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like, if we were to meet in person and you were to shake my hand and you would feel flesh gripping yours, and you may catch my cold gaze.
Or monologuing.
But there's just simply, nothing there. But no, I am a real person. I'm not
just a voice.
I'm not Patrick Bateman over here,
But two. Goodness gracious.
So, anyways,
we're married.
Yeah. We are married, husband and wife. How long have we been married now?
Oh, almost 17 years. 17 years this May.
17 glorious, fantastic, wonderful years.
Yeah. They've all typically been very, 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 very good years.
Yeah.
But, we're normal people. We all have our problems. And maybe we should do an intermission episodes, but maybe deep dives into that. But just, maybe, I don't know.
Yep.
Advice and stuff.
Yeah.
Based off our...
I mean, I am only 35 years old.
And I'm 34.
And we've had tons of life experiences thus far, which some of which we may get into in future episodes. But so this is just us basically, coming out and telling you about who we are. Mm-hmm. So we met in high school.
We did. We met. I was 16, I think, when we met, and you were 17.
If memory serves, yes. That sounds about right. Or
actually, it was summer of 2006. Mm-hmm. So yes, that summer I would have been 16, turning 17 August.
Right.
So yes.
Yeah. So
it was July 10th, 2006.
If memory serves, that's when we started dating.
Yes, that's when we started dating.
Yes. We had met
prior.
Probably a month or so before. Or no, maybe earlier than that.
Well, we started more hanging out late that year.
Yeah.
But we had mutual friends and had met earlier in 2005, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, your memory's better than mine is.
I don't know about that. I really don't know about that.
I'm slightly autistic, so I do have
I have autistic
memory.
tendencies.
Yeah. You may call us neurospicy.
We are very, very spicy over here in this household. Not the spiciest, but pretty spicy.
Yeah,
it's pretty heated over here.
We're pretty spicy when it comes to
stop saying
things.
Spicy.
Anyways,
can we stop saying spicy? So, do you want to talk about when we first interacted? Do you want to talk about that, or you want to?
I mean, we can briefly mention it, I would say.
So, to put it simply, Troy was carrying books for another girl that was kind of, I wouldn't say we were friends, but we were acquainted, we were friendly. And we had stopped in the hallway and we were talking and I saw Troy carrying her books for her. And I was like, oh, I wish I had one of those. Yep.
Just a little puppy dog,
I mean, you were really following her around.
Yeah, but I was 16 probably at the time, maybe 17. Yeah. So, I mean, the hormones are running rampant at that time. So, we'll just move on.
You were a teenager. It's fine. It's nothing to be ashamed of.
I know.
mean, especially, that was such a sweet thing to do as well. You're such a sweet guy. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, totally.
You are.
Okay. Well.
All right. Okay. So fine. So that was in Georgia. We're both originally from Georgia.
Yes.
And small, tiny little area.
Yes. Small-ish town. Waycross, Georgia. That's where we originally hail from.
Well, that's where we were born.
That's where we were born.
I wouldn't claim to be from Waycross.
I'm more from Waycross.
Yeah, I never lived in Waycross.
Okay.
Like, ever.
All right. So, but we're from the Ware County, Pierce County area of Georgia, which is southeastern portion.
Yeah, it's about 2 hours south from Savannah, and then about 2 hours north from Jacksonville, Florida. Give or take.
If you drive really fast, you can make it in like 45 minutes. Anyways.
We're not going to talk about that right now. That's a different story for a different show.
So, but yeah, we're right from the edge of the Okefenokee Swamp.
Yes,
so,
swampland. Or as our friend Phil likes to say, he calls it Flat Georgia, because he is from Atlanta and stuff. So.
Up in the Piedmont. I see.
So Flat Georgia.
Yeah, I get it. So, but yeah, that's where we're from. I lived there for 18 glorious years, and then shortly after graduation, I moved on and joined the U.S. Air Force. I served for 7 years as a tactical aircraft apprentice. So I've been maintaining fighter aircraft for the better part of 20 years. So,
yeah.
But
took us a lot of different places.
Yeah, we've been
Phoenix,
Arizona.
You were in Korea.
I was stationed in Korea for a year,
and then we lived in Japan for 2 years.
Yep. So took us, not quite all around the world, but to some of the better parts.
Yeah.
But I will say we were in Japan long enough for me to experience culture shock when coming back.
Oh, yeah.
To the U.S.
You remember when we went to Walmart for the first time and I had a panic attack?
Yeah.
That was crazy.
I remember the first time, as soon as we got back to the States and driving on the interstate at 75, 80 miles an hour, and it just feeling like I had hit warp speed, Because in Japan, typically the fastest you're going to drive is 45 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Which is 70 kilometers an hour. So, but yeah.
They don't speed out there.
No.
Which, we can totally get into that. We could. Because that's a whole conversation.
Yep.
Because there's a reason. Because the island's so small, they don't need to continuously go 70 to 80 miles an hour. Unlike the U.S., which is huge. This is a whole conversation.
Yeah.
We're getting into a hole. So I did not spend all of my years growing up in Georgia. I actually had a few years of my life where we lived in Arizona. My family lived in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
So that was, coming back from that was kind of a culture shock to me in between the two spots. So I get that. And obviously, I don't know why I was going for this. I just, I don't know.
Tell your story.
You mentioned that you were, you lived there for 18 years of your life, which is kind of true. And I did spend the general amount of my living in Georgia. When I was younger. But, I did live in Arizona. We lived on the Navajo reservation when my brother was born. And that was something special. That was an amazing time of my life. It's beautiful up there. The culture is beautiful. Yeah. I wish I could go back, literally.
Yeah, on our last road trip, we swung by there so I could see where, you kind of sort of grew up.
Yeah. It's just... we lived there for I want to say 3 or 4 years of my middle school to high school years. So those are really important. So I think that's why it, had such an effect on me.
Right. Right.
But yeah, we tried to swing by so I could show Troy, the house that, I dream of. I have dreams about this house every day. Or not every day, but sometimes. And you can't get on the compound anymore.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's,
anyways. Sorry. But we were born in the same hospital.
True. Yes. In the same hospital in Waycross, Georgia. I guess you could say that our destinies had always been intertwined.
Yeah, well, we also have that whole thing with your brother's wedding as well.
You'll have to remind me now.
Okay, so on the eve of your brother's wedding, I was hanging out with my older cousin and her friend, her friend happened to be your sister-in-law's sister. Or your late sister-in-law's sister.
Yes. Yep.
So, and they were going to the wedding, which your family. Okay, wait.
Yeah. Anyways.
We've been through a lot, and there's a lot that's going to come up, and there's some things we're going to be able to get into, and some other, maybe in past episodes we can talk. But this is just the surface.
Yeah, very superficial, you could say. But there will be many more intermissions episodes to cover all that stuff.
So, what brought us together?
What brought us together?
To be a couple.
Well, when we met. Well, you remember us meeting when, me carrying the books and all that. And then our first, true interaction together was it was the last day of school in 2006, right before summer 2006, and we had a I guess you'd call it a romp through the school, I guess.
Well, no one really gives a thought on the last days of school, especially when you're in high school.
Right.
The teachers are fucking tired of us, okay? We're tired of each other.
Right.
And in our school, you can leave early on the last days. I don't know if this for every school. So you have people who come pick up the kids, you have people who drive, and if you don't do those things, if you're not a rich kid in Southeast Georgia, you have to stay at the school.
Yeah, you gotta wait
until
on
the
that
buses come.
Yep.
And the buses aren't going to come early, no matter what you're doing.
No.
So you have pretty much all day. The teachers don't care. They have no more responsibilities. You're done with the year. So I'm pretty sure we were supposed to be either in the lunchroom area or in the library. They were trying to keep us all together because there were maybe 6, 7, maybe.
There wasn't very many of us.
There were probably more around the school, but in our group we were in.
Yeah.
And it was us and then a mutual friend. And we were just wandering around.
Yeah.
And our school is, or was, they're not using the building we went to school to anymore.
Yeah.
It was this leveled building.
The running joke was it was built to be a prison.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of built like one, I guess. Granted,
it's very...
Yeah, very concrete, stone, sharp lines. It's just gross.
And the way the classrooms are set up, the main classrooms, there's one classroom that is in the hall, near the hallway, and then there's a door that leads to another one.
Yes.
And then a door that leads outside.
Right.
So the classrooms were weird because you sometimes had to walk from one classroom to get through the classroom while class was going on to the next one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why?
So, I don't know. Somebody thought it was a good idea, which it wasn't.
That's not...
People do strange things.
Anyway.
So anyways, yeah. So we were running through the hall, if you will, and we found this it was a closet or a storage room or something.
There's several. This is a school in a very small location. There's maybe a little over 1,000 students probably.
Oh, I doubt there were. Well, maybe I think there were 180 kids in my graduating class?
Not all the classes are actually, classrooms are used. And so there's this really big classroom near the theater in the school, and they use it just for like storage and stuff. And we stumbled upon it, and there was like old desks, there were books in there, there were old yearbooks, I remember, just like from the 70s, I think. Because some of my aunts and uncles actually went to the school when it was first built. So, that doesn't matter. But among these things was an old mascot uniform.
Yeah. Our mascot, our high school mascot was the bear. It was the bear. So I remember us taking the gloves, like the paws, if you will.
It was I think the head, the paws, and the feet.
Yeah. And
I don't think anyone wanted to put the whole body thing on.
No.
But it was nasty looking.
But yeah, we borrowed these effects and just kind of went running through the school with them and stuff, you know.
Yeah, and we took turns wearing them and stuff.
Yeah, just being kids. So very funny, haha.
It was fun. It was fun at the time. It was.
So, all right. Well, so we dated all through my senior year, and then, when I graduated a month later, I shipped out to basic training, which, it was my first time on an airplane going to basic training in San Antonio, Texas. So it was a very weird time in my life. Very strange.
I think that time in your life when you're just out of high school and you don't have a set plan, it can be a little weird, a little stressful right out of high school.
Yeah. So, and not to make matters way worse, I was going from that stressful situation to a much more stressful situation.
So, you went to the Air Force. We got married the day after my high school graduation.
Yep, 2008.
Yep, I graduated because I also, I don't know. It seemed like the best option, and it was.
Yeah.
We got through it and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it was a little, to be fair, it was a little turbulent in the beginning, but
I think mostly because we were very, very young and we didn't know how to communicate yet and how our communication styles were. And to be fair, we didn't come from the most stable environments.
No. Not, I would say, personally speaking, not by a long shot.
Yeah. And
so.
But you know what? You learn from mistakes, whether they be yours or someone else's.
Yes.
You witness that and you move on. I love my family to death.
Yeah.
And, they've gotten us through stuff. Anyway, we got married. We've been together for 17 years.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, moving on through, 7 years, I was honorably discharged from the Air Force in 2014. And we moved to Savannah, Georgia.
Yes.
Where we lived for 3 years?
I think it was been 2.5 to 3 years, something like that.
Yeah. Which...
That was, whew.
Savannah was interesting. I liked living in Savannah.
I loved living in Savannah.
Just because we had such a close-knit group of friends and all that. We had
a great just a great group of friends. I had, you had your friends from working at Whole Foods, and then I had friends working at Laura Mercier. And sometimes they merged together. And sometimes they didn't, which is fine because at this point in Savannah, we understood that everyone had their separate types of lives and stuff. And we could respect that from each other. Yeah. And so, yeah.
Yeah. And at the time, I was going to school full time for aerospace engineering.
Yep.
Working part-time. And it was just such I don't know. When I look back on it, it was almost a simpler time.
Oh, yeah.
but also very
Stressful.
just simply because of the, I would say, financial aspects of it. Because me working part-time, and you working full-time, but we were, barely making ends meet half the time. So those $5 hot and readies at Little Caesars came in real handy.
And also, working 3 jobs at the time. Well, no, 2 jobs was because I got to be a paranormal investigator for like 6 months.
Yeah,
and that was a lot of fun in Savannah.
I mean, it was a pretty dope job.
And then I took on working at Laura Mercier and retail drama, like working at a mall or a retail store. The drama is just insane.
Yeah, it's like...
I'm not going to get into the details, but people are crazy.
It's high school all over again.
It really was.
It really is, yeah.
And then for a bit, I worked both of those jobs together, and then I quit being the paranormal investigator because I was working so much at Laura Mercier. And then towards the end there, I was just sick of the environment I was in and decided to switch it up, and I worked as an administrative assistant for like 7 months.
Yep.
Almost a year.
Yep. And
that was horrible.
Yeah. And then shortly after, I dropped out of college and we moved to New Mexico.
Yeah.
We lived in New Mexico for 5 years.
We bought our first house there.
We bought our first house.
Sold our first house.
I started school for digital cinematography.
Yes.
And then after that, we moved to California.
Yeah, where we are now.
Where we live now. And then you went to school for interior design.
Yes, I have a certification for interior design. Yes.
And then I finished my bachelor's. So I have a Bachelor of Science in digital cinematography.
Yep.
So... and then, what do you do for fun now?
Oh my God. I have so many projects.
So many hats.
So the podcast is my baby. This is my baby. I love it so much so far. But when I'm not watching weird movies and doing hours of research and stuff, I play a lot of video games. I love video games.
I think we both do.
Yeah. But as far as like more productive stuff, I'm currently writing my first novel. And I absolutely love it. I love writing so much. When you get in a good space and it just flows, it's just so good. Yeah. I love writing, and I have... like I said, I'm writing my first novel, but I also am working on maybe 5 different other stories right now.
Yeah.
And the plan is to finish the novel. I'm currently looking for an agent because I'm more than halfway done with the first draft, and I want to get it out there. And then I have the plans to post writing on Wattpad. As DH page. So in the future, we might put a link maybe in my bio or something. Yeah. But for right now, I'm working on that. And then I draw. I have taken up oil painting.
Yeah.
And I'm working on finishing a painting right now. And it already has probably like at least 8 to 10 hours of work already on the canvas. I'm also finishing and putting the details on one that took me 3 months. So I do a lot of I've pretty much put my hands on anything that's creative.
Right. You're a regular Willy Wonka.
Wow.
Yeah, just so
I'm
magical.
I'm not a chocolatier.
So magical, and you just wear so many hats. Sometimes I expect you to walk out with a cane and then just suddenly like do a somersault and just pop up.
I'm going to give you a somersault. Oh, that's what I'm going to do. So, I'm a creative person.
Okay.
If I'm not doing this, I'm doing something else.
All right. Well, I mean, I think both of us, once I gave up the whole like engineering thing and realized that I wanted to turn more to the arts, it was just so, like, there was like this huge release, like I stopped trying to be something that I thought other people wanted me to be.
Yeah.
And I started focusing on what I wanted to be. So
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that a lot. I completely understand that.
Yeah. Yeah. So how did you come up with the idea for the podcast?
So I have always loved movies. It was a very big thing with my my family. Like it's just been a big part. I've always liked weird movies too. I like weird, strange things. I like different. There was a time of my life where I might have illegally streamed movies for other people on the internet. Can I get in jail for that? For saying that?
No. I think, I think it's fine.
It was
I think
before
it's
the
okay.
whole piracy thing blew up.
Yep.
This was a time when people really didn't care about the trading of information and stuff until they realized how often and how much it was happening. And now you have so many piracy like laws and stuff. It's absolutely insane. I'm more viewed it as like, you have a movie and you're inviting people over and you watch it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so I've always liked weird movies. And there was a time where I had stopped watching movies, like weird movies, because of some issues and stuff. And I just wanted to like be more myself. And because there's so much content out there that I haven't seen. And I like to devour content. I like stuff. I like material.
Consume.
Yes, consume. And so I just started to watch weird movies. Whatever I could find on like Amazon, from like the 60s, 50s, 70s. Just really old vintage things that I'd never heard of that was crazy. And then I asked our friend Phil if he would watch them with me. And so we had, for like about 6 months or so, maybe like a year, every now and then, like maybe twice or 3 times a month, we would like just stay up really late and watch a weird movie and just get high and laugh and just really just bug out over these like crazy concepts and stuff.
Yeah.
And we both got kind of busy with life and stuff. And I went through a bit of a mental crisis. And I stopped doing things I like to do. And it took a while for me to better myself. And, went to therapy for over a year. I was on medication for almost a year. I'm at a point where earlier this year, I felt like I didn't need those things anymore to be happy and to take care of myself. So I kind of was like, if I'm ready to take care of myself, I have to take responsibility of that and actually do things I like. And I was like, I really miss watching old movies. And I have all these, like, I would write funny synopsis and share them, like on Discord and stuff with friends. And just say, like, this is what I've been up to. This is the movie I watched, and that's crazy, and this is what happened. And I missed doing that. I missed having that, like, I don't know, it just was funny to me. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's something that's unique and interesting, and not everyone's gonna, like, be into that, and I don't know. So I had asked, like, when we were first doing these movies and stuff, Phil and I would have, like, really great conversations about the movies and just laugh and stuff and be funny. And I mentioned, like, maybe we should, like, do a podcast or something. And he wasn't really into it, which is fine. And we continued watching the movies for a while, and then it fell off. And we got busy with life and stuff, and then I had a mental breakdown, like I said, and I wasn't taking care of myself and doing things that I loved. And it was really a struggle to do those things I loved because I wasn't loving myself. But early this year, like I said, again, I got better. I'm better. I'm doing wonderfully. And now I get to watch these movies with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew you needed some kind of outlet to be creative after school ended.
Mm-hmm.
And I also thought it would be a great experience for you to witness how strange and wonderful like the cinematic world of B horror movies are.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the reason I like them too. Like they're just so little can be so big.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And the most like outrageous ideas can be something. Because these movies are, some of them are decent and some of them are good, but a lot of them are not. But that's fine. That's okay. You know, people, what matters is that people actually did them.
Yeah.
They took this crazy idea and they actually put in the love and the effort to actually pull them out of their asses.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? We're watching it 50, 60 years in the future.
Yeah.
And I wanted that experience and I also like spending time with you.
Yeah.
So that is how the idea and the whole thing came to be. Sorry, I went on a tangent.
No, it was fine. Yeah, so obviously, like, watching movies and stuff means a lot to both of us. Mm-hmm. You know, obviously, you know, I went to film school having not really seen a whole lot of movies. Like, I'd seen more than the average person, I guess, because I've always been really into, like, pop culture and stuff. You know, when I remember growing up and my mom had a wall full of VHS tapes and stuff. And, you know, so I've always been really big into movies. And it took me so long to realize that, you know, being passionate about something doesn't mean that that's what you should do. Like for me, for instance, like being passionate about science and space and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. That doesn't necessarily mean that that's what I have to commit my life to when I enjoy doing other things such as, you know, cinema. I love watching movies. We've made a few short films together. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we both really enjoyed doing it. So, but having made, you know, even though they're short films, they're still cinema, but having made those movies, like, it really gives you a new perspective onto what goes into making a movie. So sitting back and watching these, you know, B horror films and stuff, as cheesy as they might be, you understand like how much of their heart and soul went into making, you know, this piece of cinema. So that's what it means to me. Doing this podcast allows me to do that, and that's what I enjoy. So
my Nana, when she would have all the cousins over, we would take turns picking movies. Mm-hmm. And she had there was so many Disney movies. And like Matrix, Die Hard. There's this one about dragons and stuff. Like it was a time. And Interview with the Vampire was also a big one that we would watch.
Yeah.
So, because my Nana really, really didn't give a fuck what we watched. So we were watching things we probably should have been watching at like, you know, 8, 10, 11 years old. So the movies were big. I think movies in general, like having VHSs and having movies at home, that was one of those like generational things.
Right. Because
our parents really didn't have that type of thing. So having all those videos and having all those options and stuff was a really big thing. Yeah. And I think that's why the movement of like making movies and like making shows and stuff has been such a big source of revenue for our generation. Mm-hmm. Because it's something our parents and grandparents didn't grow up with. Yeah. And it's something that just exploded culturally.
Right. So. And I personally feel like, we would be negligent to say, that movies didn't matter, because art in and of itself is what makes us human.
Expression.
To be able to express those feelings and thoughts and stuff, and to be compassionate, and because especially here, in the 21st century, like, we've seen so much war and famine and just overall destruction that's been brought on by our own hands, that people need a break from that stuff, obviously. So basically the podcast is just about, obviously we have our normal episodes, which are all about B horror films and stuff like that, but this Intermissions is more so just about pop culture in general,
and life.
Just life and whatever rears its head.
Our travels. We're going to Monster Palooza next month.
Yep, we will be there on June 2nd.
Oh, June 2nd. So, yeah,
a
month from now.
And we're super excited about that.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
I cannot wait. If any of our listeners are going to be there, be sure to be on the lookout for us. We're just going to be walking around, and
we'll have t-shirts.
Yeah, we're going to have our t-shirts on.
I made t-shirts.
Yeah,
and we'll have stickers.
And stickers. So, and we're constantly trying to like brainstorm and come up with ideas for like future merch and things that people may want to have. So, if you've got any suggestions or ideas, we'd love to hear from you. So feel free to reach out. So So why are we doing this?
It's fun.
It is fun. It is fun.
And it's like I've had the idea for like 2 years now. And also, like I said earlier, I went through like this really bad like phase of not being mentally well.
Yeah.
And once I had finished therapy and medication, I knew I needed something that was going to make me happy and to occupy my brain away from negative thoughts into more positive thoughts.
Yeah.
Which I think a lot of people need to work on, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, including me. I have issues that I'm dealing with and stuff, and
we all do. It's normal.
All those of us that have been fighting the big D word for so long.
Fuck that D word, man.
Yeah. It's not the D word you're thinking, though. Anyways. But yeah, that's one of the reasons why I like to do the podcast, is because it gives me something else to focus on.
Yeah.
And something to...
It's positive.
Breathe new life into me. So...
Good way.
Yeah.
Very good way.
So...
And it gives us time to spend... We spend a lot of time together.
We do.
It's not like we don't spend time together at all.
Yeah.
But we enjoy our time together. But we also like our time apart. But this gives us an opportunity to actually sit down and create something together.
Yes.
And to be a part of something we really hold dear.
Yeah.
And, it's our baby, I guess. It could be our baby. Fine.
Yeah, I mean... No one is taking credit from you for creating it.
No, I know.
But we enjoy making it together, and it encourages us to do more things together. Yeah. Here recently we went down to Burbank, California. We got to go to the Mystic Museum.
That was a lot of fun.
And we're looking forward to doing so many more things. Not just for the podcast, but for us in general. So,
and then also this past weekend we went to the Grimoire exhibition.
Yeah,
and it was supposed to be like an oddity show, but it was more like crafts and candles.
Yeah, I don't know what I was expecting. I was expecting more, but
yeah, it was cute. There was some really interesting people there. We got some cute stuff. Troy got some candles.
I love candles.
Troy loves him some candles.
I'm a very sensory person.
Neurospicy.
Yes. Anyways.
He loves him some candles. Like, I can't. If we go to Target and I take him down to the candle aisle, I know he'll be there for at least probably 20 minutes, and I can just go do whatever I need to do.
That and the pillows.
That's the texture thing.
I have to feel the pillows, and they have temperatures. If they're too coarse, then they're hot. They don't feel good.
You're so autistic.
I am very autistic.
I love you. But it's also, this is a great way for Troy to practice editing and to be creative.
Yes.
To stretch that creative muscle.
Yeah.
As a cinematographer, you know?
I mean, obviously, like, a lot of people may not understand what goes into making a podcast and stuff. And it's not, obviously, we're not recording this on video
Not
quite yet. That is future state. Hopefully, we'll be able to set up a good space to record and all that good stuff. But, just working on the audio aspect of a podcast, really gives you a sense of, or a new perspective when it comes to what like a recordist does for a film and, doing the sound editing and stuff after the fact. So, but yeah, and it gives us the ability to just explore movies.
Yes.
We're just constantly watching new films and stuff. We've taken a liking to the new Terrifiers. We watched Terrifier 2 not too long ago. Late Night with the Devil was really good. Mm-hmm. So, looking forward to watching a lot more.
Yeah, and those, if we want to do reviews over those would be intermission episodes.
Yes.
But for main episodes for And I Made Him Watch, those are all just like movies that could be lost in time that we were bringing back to life and shining light on, because people worked hard for these movies.
Yes.
A lot of these actors we've seen have already passed, and this is their legacy. This is something to remember them by.
Yes.
So they don't get forgotten.
Yeah.
And isn't that's kind of wonderful. That's great.
Yeah.
Because without this, no one would know.
Right. Right.
And it's a break from the mainstream and the typical, like, movie like DC or fucking Avengers or something. Like, the typical, like, very popular stuff. Yeah.
I mean, as much as I like, I love watching Marvel movies and Star Wars and all that stuff. Yeah, you do need a break from it from time to time. And it's also, an opportunity to try to bring more people into the conversation,
Yeah. People are always welcome to send us an email or leave a comment on YouTube or TikTok or something.
Yeah.
I mean, if TikTok will be around when this episode comes out, but that's a whole nother, we should do an episode intermission about that, actually.
Oh, that's so exhausting to think about. It gets me so upset.
It'd be a great episode, intermissions episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's just, it's so fucking wrong.
I know.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, what are we going to be doing with intermission episodes?
So intermissions is simply that. It's a break from our regularly scheduled programming. So we talk about anything. We talk about new movies, life events, personal relationships, anything. So, if our listeners have anything that they want to hear us talk about, if they have any suggestions,
unless it's
anything.
true crime.
Yeah,
you
no.
can go listen to any podcast.
There's so many true crime podcasts.
And listen to true crime. We're not here for that. We're not here for true crime. We're not here for Reddit stories, or just anything but that. Yeah,
and don't get us wrong. We love true crime as much as the next person.
I love, like, true. Well, I don't love it, but I find it fascinating and interesting.
Yes, we're always...
and I love a good gossip story, too. Yes. But that's just not who we are. There's too many of those out there.
Yes, I'm always interested in the macabre, so to speak.
Yeah. I guess if you want to hear about a movie that you probably would have never heard about ever before, or just some wild, crazy stuff, then we're your podcast. That's our goal, is to bring attention to things you may not know of in the movie world.
Yeah. And when you're here, you're family.
Wow.
Please don't sue me, Olive Garden. All right.
I don't know. Could they sue you for that?
I don't know. Probably not.
Is it trademark?
Probably. Anyways, but yeah, that's this has been our first intermissions episode.
Mm-hmm. Finally, we've been talking about doing intermissions for like a month now, and I've been trying.
Yeah.
So hard to get Troy to do it.
Yeah. But yeah, we're just happy that we're finally able to put out the first one. And if you liked this and you want to hear more, let us know. You know, you're always free to send us an email at animatehimwatch@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter,
and TikTok, as long as it's around.
Yeah. So
as long as it's around.
Yes. So from us here at And I Made Him Watch, stay spooky.
Bye.